Welcome back to Wave 3 Listens. Financial security and the care that you want for your loved ones. That's available to you, but you got to know the tricks of the trade. Elder Advisors is all about that. It's about relieving stress because you love them and you want the very best for them. With us now is Larry Weiss and his team. I'm going to let him do the formal introductions of his team. I know Steve Langdon, but we have a new member who is here today. Larry, basically that's what you do. Yep. It's don't go broke in a nursing home because there are people who do, and if you have that fear, it is real.
It is real, and I have to give a couple of shout-outs to Mr. Dastonot, loves Wave 3, loves John Ramsey more than me. It kind of hurts me. But
everybody does.
Hated Dastonot. And also, John, I have to take some of my love from John Ramsey and give it to Joyce Straight today. Hey, Joyce. Joyce, you're not going to be homeless, honey. It's okay. Stick with us. Girl power. But my colleague to my left is Jonathan Breitenstein. And did I say that correctly?
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Jonathan. And, of course, you know, I refer to Steve Langdon as our elder law superstar attorney. One of my employees refers to Steve as tall, dark, and handsome.
And I prefer the tall, dark, and handsome.
Tammy says, don't say her name. You mean I'm not supposed to say Fancy Fulton on live television? Okay. I can't say who it was. But I love what I'm doing. Kentuckiana, as Steve says, it's good news. You don't have to go broke in a nursing home. There are so many things we can do to protect assets. For a husband and wife, we can protect all the assets if one spouse goes into care. If it's a single person, we can protect half of the assets so you don't go broke in a nursing home. You don't have to do that. Please forget about barbershop law, what people are telling you at the internet cafe and the coffee shop. It's wrong. We need the skill set of attorneys to always protect those assets. Most certainly Steve Langdon on the legal part, we're doing the elder law. But also I'm delighted that Jonathan Breitenstein is here today because Jonathan is an attorney. I'm not an attorney. I do the financial part because if we're going to protect all those assets, we always need a financial component, also at the legal. But sometimes when we sit down with families, we may hear that there's been some, I'll let Jonathan get into more of it, but there's been some care concerns about mom or dad, perhaps at the hospital as they're getting rehab or transitioning to a nursing home. And if that happens, like, whoa, we need to stop. That's when I need to bring Jonathan Breitenstein in. So, Jonathan, with that, kind of impart with Kentuckiana what you bring to the table, because I certainly don't do that stuff.
We receive calls, quality of care concerns, life choice concerns. In those circumstances, what you're looking at in Kentucky is we have a Bill of Rights that's laid out, the law, by statute, of what everyone is entitled to when they're in a care facility, long-term care facility or a nursing home. In those circumstances, we get the call going, is this malpractice? I'm not so much concerned of is it malpractice or not, because that's just looking down the road. What you're concerned about is what you can do right now, and that's where you need an advocate. That's someone that understands your medical condition, someone you can talk to. That can be your daughter, your son, your own primary care physician, who you should always be in contact with, or persons such as Larry Weiss, who understands the nursing home setting, understands what you are entitled to at a nursing home. Not just what the nursing home is telling you, but someone on the outside, someone that can be there for you when you're not in a position to take care of yourself.
You know, Larry, when I listen to Jonathan, and Jonathan, I respect your position so much because I think that is needed as well. And this, again, proves that Elder Advisors is turnkey. They cover all the aspects, Larry. And he talked about what you can do now. So let's talk a little bit about that. There's pre-planning, which I highly recommend, or crisis planning, which means, hey, you're in a situation where you need immediate action. Talk a little bit about that, Larry, if you would.
Well, the pre-planning, that's kind of was giving a shout-out to Joyce Straight. Hi, Joyce. See, I gave you a little second plug because I love you, Joyce. I love everybody because I'm a lover. I don't mind saying that. I'm a lover. Okay, but Joyce was pre-planning. You know, she wanted to get ahead of certain things, and that's what Steve will do as an attorney. He may develop different strategies. I don't want to kiss and tell on live television, but that's why it's worth going to elderadvisors.com or calling us at 855-LARRY-55. But that's pre-planning. But on the crisis planning, when someone's in a nursing home or about to go, we can still help. And that's where I need the skill set of our elder law superstar attorney, tall, dark, and handsome, Stephen P. Langdon. And I've heard Steve say a lot of times on the show, you know, he pretty much kind of focuses on one little, you know, I don't think attorneys can claim specialties or whatever.
Right, but you always have to have the individuals, the attorneys in your court who focus on specific aspects of the law. And that's really where Jonathan comes in.
For sure.
You know, that's not something that I spend every day of my life working towards, but it is Jonathan.
Right.
That, you know, we can't have our specialties, but frankly, That's the area of law that he focuses on, and it's so important to have those contacts. You know, you look at attorneys, and I know even in my own family, I should know everything about the law. Well, frankly, I don't, but I do know Medicaid,
right,
and I do know the pre-planning, and I do know estate planning. But when it comes outside of that, I need to point my clients to a very, very competent, trustworthy, caring individual who can make sure that through the toughest part of their lives, they've got an advocate in their corner. Sometimes, Larry, that's you.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's Jonathan.
Well, and the one thing I try, the goal when I sit down with the family for that first free consultation, that's why they can go to elderadvisors.com or 855-LARRY55, is we sit down and kind of triage and assess what the family situation is. I will say it's not often that I hear the situations of care or concerns of care. When it has come up, I have no idea who to refer to. So that's been a great resource for elder advisors to add to my repertoire of referrals, whether it's CPAs, Terry Graham, elder law superstar attorney, tall, dark, and handsome, Stephen P. Langdon. Carolyn did a great job raising you, Steve. She turned into a beautiful man.
I'm a big fan.
I'm a beautiful man. Okay, but now I can refer people in those cases where those come up to say, you know, I'm certainly not the attorney. I think that's why you probably need to talk to Jonathan Breitenstein to talk about these different issues, because I don't know how that would be addressed at all.
And just to be clear, the main mission is, and Larry, clarify, and Steve and Jonathan certainly jump in here, is to hold on to your assets, correct? And
Absolutely.
then, and also quality of care is right there, right?
It is, and we had a family this morning. Autumn and I were with a family where mom was. What's interesting is mom was at Baptist East, a great hospital, and they were very concerned that mom, because of her condition, would not even get 20 days of Medicare rehab. Well, hats off to the community. I was speaking to them. I was on the phone with the community this morning with the daughters in the room because, you know, we become their voice and their advocate on a financial component. I'm telling them what we're doing. We're working with the elder law attorney, Steve Langdon, but the community was able, with their doctors and their staff, to determine that we're going to probably get at least 20 days of rehab for mom. So again, it's good news, Kentuckiana. It really is good news because to a large degree, the patient, mom or dad, they're being taken care of. It's the kids that have the problem. They have the stress on their shoulders. What am I going to do? They're raising their grandkids. They're taking care of their parents. These are things that wear people out, and we can offer that services to take that stress off the shoulder because no one else does that, Kentuckiana. You know.
Larry,
no one does it.
For someone who wants this kind of advice, and obviously we're all going to need it at one point in our lives, but for someone who needs the advice, whether it be the expertise of Jonathan, of Steve, or yourself, okay, what's the first step here? Do they call you? How do they set up an appointment? Because, as I said, I think the smart thing to do is, if you can, pre-plan, right?
Absolutely. And folks, it couldn't be any easier. 855-LARRY55. What's to forget about that? I'm good looking. 855-LARRY55. What's not to forget? Steve, is there a problem?
No.
That's what I thought.
No, the good-looking part struck me. But no.
That's a good-looking young man.
But I didn't take the claim for tall, dark, and handsome.
No,
that was
that's mine.
Fancy Fulton.
Yeah, that's all me.
That's all you. And of course, Jonathan, you know, you're a good-looking man too in your own right. You got that high tight on the side, look like a Marine JAG officer.
Thank you much, Larry.
I like it.
One thing that I want to talk about is the fact that with the two of you, you can answer questions that people don't even know they have.
Yeah.
You've seen just about every issue there is. You've seen nursing homes, my favorite, telling people, go ahead and spend down your assets, and then we will talk about converting you.
Steve knows it all too well.
Yeah, I've had that. In fact, twice in the last 2 weeks, I've had families come to me and tell me that. You know, the nursing home says, just in a couple more months, you'll be out of money, but you know what? At that time, we'll sit down and we'll make sure she's taken care of.
All right. Once again, it's Elder Advisors. Give them a call today for expert advice and for peace of mind. They are the answer. They're the only ones who do what they do. Coming up next,